Hello, welcome back to Frank's Garage. If you haven't subscribed, please do so if you want to see more videos like this one. And hit that thumbs up button if you end up liking this video. On this video, I'm pretty much just going to go through the oil change on this 2000 Toyota Camry with a 2.2 inline 4. I am going to use 15W50. This is racing engine oil. The reason is, if you heard me talking about my mentor from the last video I put up before this one, if you haven't, you should see it. If you already did, well, in this case, you already know what the mentor said to me, and now I'm just going to go into the details why. The reason is, as the engine gets older, it starts wearing out, and eventually those parts inside need thicker oil to keep working. And especially like valve lifters and roller followers, especially on the camshaft area, and down in the block, things like the bearings, they start wearing out after a lot of miles, and you want them to last longer. Well, this is basically a solution. And well, if race engines use thicker oil, then why can't you? Right. Okay, so racing oil like this is going to help keep the oil pressure up like it should be. And another thing, regular oil like 5W30, 5W20, and some cars are using 0W30, 0W20. I've seen that on exotic engines like Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Those engines, they're built for that stuff. But that's basically the braking engine oil. But if you look at race engines, they use stuff like this. And the reason is, those engines are going through extreme temperatures and extreme RPMs. Like basically redlining the whole way. Especially NASCAR. So, the point that I'm trying to get to here is that the thicker the oil, the longer it will last. I'm not saying instead of doing the oil change at 10,000 miles rather than 5,000 miles. I'm not saying that. I'm saying do the oil changes like you always do, but in this case you're going to use better or thicker engine oil, which is going to last you longer. What I mean by lasting longer is that the viscosity on the 5W30 oil, it's going to last you probably the first 1,000 miles. The viscosity of that engine oil, 5W30, okay? 15W50, the viscosity of that is going to last you at least 5,000 miles. So I don't know if you're following the idea I'm putting you guys in. 5W30 engine oil, the viscosity 5W30 is going to last you about 1,000 miles, and that viscosity is going to start going down. It will eventually get to the point where it's breaking down a lot. Okay, so it won't be 5W30 by the time you do the oil change. That's going to be, the viscosity of that is going to be a much lower. The same thing happens with racing oil, but 15W50 is going to be probably what, 10W40, 10W30, 5W30 by the time you do the drain at 5,000 miles. So this engine oil is going to last you a lot longer than regular 5W30 engine oil. Now I do see companies like Mobil 1, Castrol, and other brand names selling you engine oil that can last you 20,000 miles, or 15,000 miles, or 25,000 miles, or whatever number you got to realize the engine oil that they sell you, you don't know what exactly is in it unless you do a test, which you have to pay for it, because they're not gonna pay. They're not gonna pay the test that you want to be done on the oil that you buy. Now, another thing, the labels here, they pretty much carry whatever you put them on. Okay. So if it says it'll last you 20,000 miles, you don't know if you're buying the same kind of oil that doesn't say that. I don't know if you're understanding. So I don't know how a 5W30 engine oil will be good on viscosity like this one is. Okay, so that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and do the drain and then the fill up on this engine. I am not gonna switch out this filter. This is a K&N. I'm not gonna say a K&N racing filter, but it is a high performance or something like that filter. But it's K&N. So I'm gonna do that. I don't remember exactly how much oil I'm supposed to throw in. I'm gonna search that up on my repair manual. But yeah, once I know how much it is, I'll mention it on the video, so you guys who want to see this done can know how much oil goes in, and you guys don't have to guess on how much oil goes in. Only if you already know this detail, then you can just skip it, you know. Anyways, let's do that. Let's get on it, and let's start with getting down below. I already got my drain pan down there. As you can see, I lifted my car up, and it's kind of leveled. It's kind of, let me show you from a distance. My driveway here is going down in it. Right before it goes to the garage, it comes back up. So I got the car sorta leveled, but yeah. All right, so here we go. Something that you might want to search for is a tool like this. It's got 8 different sizes for sockets, and it's basically a multi-size wrench. Okay, and it's also, you can put it in multiple positions to get it hooked. So this is really good if you're doing oil changes, and the sizes of the what's it called, the sizes of the bolt for the drain plug. If it's anything between, what's the smallest size here, 12. So if it's anything between 12 and 19, you got it right here on just one. So you can use this to break it loose. You can use this to sorta tighten it, but the proper way would be using a torque wrench and tightening down the torque. But if you don't have it, just snug it up till it's got like a good seal. Okay, don't ever leave a drain plug loose. And another thing, don't ever use power tools. Well, don't ever, no, let's just not, I take that back. You can use power tools to break it loose if some maniac tying it down like crazy. But don't ever use a power tool to tying down the drain plug on any engine. Don't ever do that. I've seen people do that, and my God, it's just, you don't want to know. I saw a car the other day, which is, I've been attending clients again, which is why you don't see me do a lot of videos lately. I'm pretty busy. I saw a client the other day who had his oil pan given a apparent new oil, what is it called? An apparent new oil pan gasket, but whoever did it decided to skip the gasket and went ahead with a gasket maker and just splattered the red high torque and high temperature gasket maker all around the entire oil pan, and it's leaking like hell. Okay, it's leaking like hell. Okay, guys, if you guys don't be cheap. Okay, don't be cheap on your car. If you're a mechanic who attends other people's cars, don't be cheap on your clients, please. You make us good mechanics look bad. Seriously, you do. Um, that's why mechanics nowadays, they got a bad reputation. People don't really trust them, and it's just, that's why nowadays a lot of people decide to just go ahead and do it themselves rather than come to a mechanic who can do the good work, could do the job right, all because of guys who just want to cheap out and do everything on the cheap. Don't be like that, man. Don't be like that. Oil pan gasket can be anything like $15-$20, and I'm pretty sure the client you have can pay for that. Okay, it's a $15 to $20 oil pan gasket, and they can be cheaper. I don't know, depending on where you buy. But if you buy the proper gasket, you can just put like a sealant, like a one-time sealant on the oil pan gasket itself, so you can seal it to the oil pan, so when you're putting it up, it doesn't fall. Okay, and that sealant is eventually gonna melt away with the heat, and it's not gonna make a mess. And you can put, obviously you have to put gasket maker on a few certain spots. That is the same thing on every vehicle, but you don't have to make a splatter and splatter the entire oil pan all around the surface where it meets the engine. Please, for God's sake, people, don't do that kind of crap. Seriously. Oh, and the worst of it is, my client needs a new oil pan because the idiot that did that forced in the drain plug and destroyed the threads on it, and he's got I should have taken a picture of this. Now I regret taking a picture of what I'm talking to you about, because he put the red high temperature gasket maker on the drain plug. What the heck is that, people? Come on. I just don't get it. If you make a mistake working, own up to it, man. Grow up. Own up to your own mistakes. I've done mistakes. I'm still young. I'm 29 years old, and I make mistakes. If people tell me, no, you did this wrong, you gotta replace it, or you gotta fix it, or you gotta align it the way it goes, man, just take the advice, do it correctly, and learn from your mistakes. If you make a mistake, you break a part on a client's car that you weren't supposed to take off or you weren't supposed to replace, own up to it, man. We all make mistakes. Who knows? Maybe I've had okay, one of the mistakes I did was that I broke one of the parts. I broke a part accidentally on one of my client's car, and I told him, look, man, I'm sorry, but I accidentally broke this part. I need to order this, otherwise your car is gonna leak. Well, you know what? This person didn't bother, and he just said, you know what? Don't pay for it. Let me pay for it. Don't worry about it. Until today, he's a good friend of mine. So you should own up to your own mistakes. Don't be cheap on your clients, because then when you are cheap on your clients are going to stop going to you. This client of mine is a brand new client. He stopped going to his mechanic because of the crap that he's doing on his car. Okay? So own up to your own mistakes, okay, guys? And seriously, Do not be cheap. Don't be cheap. Okay? Oh my god. It's frustrating when I see this kind of stuff happen. Now I have to deal with that kind of crap that somebody else did, okay? I'm serious. It makes no sense. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. Okay. Now that I'm done with that, let's keep going. So I have this. I gotta get, you guys should also, if you want to keep your fingers from being burned from really hot oil, you can get this thing. I don't know what it is called. Let's see. It says here, U.S. Focus. Okay, U.S. Pat. And I don't know what that is, but yeah, it's a magnet for the drain plug. Once you have it pretty loose, where it's like about to fall, just put it on the drain plug. It'll stick to it pretty good, and just basically turn this, and this will turn the drain plug till it'll actually fall and not fall in the drain pan, or just fly off your hands because it's gonna be probably really hot. So you just put it with this, and it won't fall anywhere because it'll stick to the magnet right there. So that's a pretty good tool that you guys can use. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead down there and do what I gotta do. Okay, so I already put the engine in the drain. That's the drain plug right there. And I forgot to mention, whenever you're doing the oil change, if you're doing it off the ground, which a lot of people do if you do it by yourself, once you have the drain plug out, come back up here. Obviously it's already draining by this time. Come back up here and remove, or set it like that. Okay, and you can open up this right here to help the oil drain out using gravity. Okay, air is going to go in, it's going to help you flush that out. Mechanics who have the car lift, normally they either open this up right here, or take it out completely, or they open here, or do both before they lift the car up, and they go underneath and they drain it out. The reason why I do it like that is that if you have this open or that opened before you open the drain plug underneath, if you're not prepared, or if you're not let's just say you are not good at aiming, the oil could drain out at a faster rate and spill all over the place, or spill on you, or splash on you, whatever. And if it's hot, it's worse, because if it hits your face or it hits your hand, it's you're gonna have that burning sort of sensation for about a minute. But yeah, that's how I do it. I just go underneath, take off the drain plug, and then I come right back up immediately and open that up, or over there at the oil cap. That works for me. I don't know what works for you. If you got a different method that completely is different than mine and completely works for you, you can just mention it down in the comments. That way I can learn different methods, and we can all help each other out on this. So I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. I'm gonna definitely wait for that to drain completely all the way out, and then I'm gonna get underneath and put the drain plug back in. And like I said earlier, if you don't have a torque wrench and you don't know the torque spec on this, you can use this wrench right here, or I forgot to mention, that's a 14 millimeter bolt or drain plug. And on this one, since this is 12 to 19, you can use that one. and it'll come off easy. In my case, it came off easy, even though it was torqued to the torque spec from the last time I did this. And it came off pretty easy using this multi-size wrench. It'll do the same thing for you guys. So I was saying, if you don't know the torque spec, just snug it up, but don't go too tight. Don't go crazy, like all the way to the point you can't go any further. No, you don't want to do that. You just snug it up. But to be safe, if you can, buy yourself either a 3/8, 3/8 drive torque wrench, and you can get the torque spec for this, which normally is about 20, maybe 25 foot-pounds, something like that. Okay, you don't need to go crazy with the torque specs on something little like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll meet you guys right back up whenever I'm gonna do the fill up again. Okay, so I already plugged in the oil pan, and here we go with the fill up. So you can get this right here at Harbor Freight. You can also get it at Amazon. This is a really good thing to have because it'll save you from making a mess when doing fill-ups on your engine. To be honest, this thing is really easy to use. It's got this cap, so no bugs or anything will walk in before you start filling it up. This thing comes with adapters for every manufacturer there is. So this one is only for Toyota, Lexus, and Scion. And it's the yellow one if you buy this kit. Other manufacturers has a different color, different shape, but it works. I've used this on every car that I service for engine oils. Anyways, so this engine requires 3.8 quarts of oil with the filter change. But I'm not changing the filter this time. Okay, because I said it's too early to change it, so it's practically new. So I'm going to go ahead and reuse the filter. So, that being said, I'm going to go start with 3.5 quarts. 3.5 quarts of oil. Why? Because seeing that this filter is facing downward, I'm pretty sure the oil on this one drained out. But if it were facing up, like probably 80% of the cars in the world have the filter facing up. If it were facing up, then the oil inside will not have drained out. So in this case, it's sort of facing down. It is diagonal. It's not horizontal, but it's not vertical like that either. So it's diagonal. And seeing the position, it could have drained out when I took the drain plug out. I don't know. I'm gonna start putting in 3.5 quarts, and we'll see what happens. Because yeah, let's just do it that way. Once I put 3.5 quarts in it, I'm gonna check it with the dipstick and see how far it is. If it's to the max line, I'm gonna stop right there. But if it's halfway, that means you gotta go maybe 0.1, 0.2 of a quart more. That's really difficult to measure, but you just gotta eyeball that. If it's only at the low mark, that means probably put in half a quart to a quart. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep this because I'm gonna show you what I use. You might think, that's overkill. The thing is, you can't really measure how much oil you're putting in through here. because it's opened back there. I really don't know why they put these markings here, but I wouldn't do it. Anyways, I'm gonna show you what I use. I don't really pour this directly into that. I mean, I could, but the readings here, yes, this is sorta a good reading, sorta. But I'm gonna show you what I use. You're gonna seriously say, "Oh, that's overkill," but no, this is what mechanic shops most of the time use. Where's it at? Oh, right here. So this thing, I do cover this because bugs like to go in through here and sit at the bottom and die because they're dumb. But yeah. So I'm gonna make sure this is clean in the inside, and I'm gonna fill it up to 3.5 quarts. Where's 3.5? 3.5 is about right here, about there, because this is 4. Yeah, so it's around there. Yeah, it's got a line for the 3.5. Okay, so I'm gonna go there, and then once I put it in here, I'm gonna pour it in to the engine. So let's go. Okay, so I already poured in the new oil, and I already checked the level, but I'm gonna show it to you again anyways. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna take this out right now. I'm gonna take it out with my hand like this because it twists like that for some reason. And let me show you. Okay, hold on. Focus, camera. Doesn't want to focus. There we go. It's about the full line. Sorry, I had to take it out of the camera so I can see the marking. Yeah, it's about the full line. Focus. Come on. There you go. Yeah. So it doesn't really, you can't really see it very well on the camera. I try to give you guys a good sighting, but yeah, that's it. 3.5 quarts worked out pretty well without changing out the filter. So now basically you take this out the same way you put it back on. And one thing I'm gonna look at to do is probably change this cap. Look at the threads on this. I don't know what happened there. My goodness. Well, I know for sure then I gotta buy one. I mean, it's probably not having a bad seal, but I mean, a piece, look, you see right here, a piece broke off or melted off. I don't know. I don't know. But whenever I can, I'll just buy that. And now, next thing I'm gonna do, probably gonna be on a different video, not on this one, is gonna be the installation for the oil catch can. And I thought of probably a good spot to put it on would be right here. I can drill a hole in this metal. There's nothing underneath, as you can see. And I already put the oil catch can right here, and it fits very well. And it's not going to be hitting anything, because seeing this lump right here on the hood, that actually hits this. Not, wait, no, I could take that back. I think I'm going to take that back. I think this comes down here. Shoot. Man, that would suck if it does. Yeah. I'm probably going to have to rethink the position where I picked. Maybe this is not a good spot, but I'm going to see. yeah, I'm gonna be checking on all of that and very soon. Anyways, that is gonna end the video here, and hopefully this helps. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up button. If you find it helpful, please also hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the coming future. Alright, so stay tuned for whatever else I bring to the channel. Until next time.